friends, it has been a hot minute since I did a book haul, and I've been collecting books here throughout the last couple of months, and I just wanted to share them with you. Now, most of these are from the thrift store. We have a number of thrift stores in our area. There are a few exceptions, and I'll get to those at the end, but for now, let's just get into books that I've hauled from the thrift store. First one, Folk Tales and Fables of the World. This is definitely something that I've been working on, is learning about different fairy tales and folk tales from around the world, and I am thrilled to have found this big chunker. And it looks old, and I like that, so there's that. I don't know what you guys will all be able to see, because as you all know, I do not have a viewfinder. I picked up the Annotated Alice, a Lewis Carroll book of Alice in Wonderland. So I am very curious what kind of content will be in here. I'm already seeing stuff that I like, and yeah, I think it'll be really, really cool, and it will fit nicely with my Alice in Wonderland collection. I had found, this was actually free from a thrift store, but I thought this kind of book, it's more for sewing patterns, but I thought it might work really well for my collaging. So I really love vintage images, and these are from, I'm not actually sure what year this is. I don't see a year anywhere, but it's older. So of course, since May was birthday month, I had to grab a whole bunch of nostalgic books. So I did grab two I Spies. I love I Spy, but they're very hard to find in thrift stores. I found this big picture book of The Lion King, which the images are absolutely beautiful. So I am very thrilled to have this, because Lion King was one of my favorite movies as a kid growing up. Oh, I have a paperback I Spy as well. I am more so collecting the hardback, but because they're so hard to find, I'll pick up whatever I can, really. I found a Dick Tracy the movie storybook. So one of these years I will read my Dick Tracy book for my childhood videos, and I thought this was really cool because it'll go right alongside and I can maybe even watch the movie. So I thought that was neat. I picked up The Tale of Three Trees only because I've heard things about it. I've never actually read it. I picked up the Random House book of poetry for children, which you guys know I love children's poetry, which will be a theme for the next few probably. Frank Baber's Mother Goose nursery rhymes, vintage, love it. Professor Wormbog in Search of Zipper-Rumpa-Zoo by Mercer Mayer. Mercer Mayer was definitely an author of many kids' books when I was growing up. The Bible Time nursery rhyme book, which is kind of cool. I'm looking forward to seeing what's in there. Franklin's Friendship Treasury. Franklin was definitely a show that I watched as a kid. Roald Dahl's Revolting Rhymes. I have enjoyed most of what I've read from Roald Dahl, so I'm really excited to read his rhyming poetry. That's What Friends Are For. This is The Fox and the Hound, which is also a movie from my childhood. Magic School Bus, also a show I watched as a kid all the time. Mermal, 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 another Robert Munch. Another Robert Munch? I don't think I did a Robert Munch yet, but Clifford. I remember the TV show Clifford. And Arthur Tricks the Tooth Fairy, and I loved Arthur. I would still watch Arthur today if I just came across it on TV or something. I would totally still watch it. I picked up What It Means to Be a Friend. This book totally rang some nostalgia bells for me. I definitely have read this book and other books like it, so I was thrilled to find this at the thrift store. Can't wait to read that one. I got Jubba This and Jubba That. I don't know, I'm very curious about this. Nothing rings any kind of bells, but I just love like the aesthetic of this book, and like the inside poetry is very, well, and there might be stories too. I don't know, is this poetry and tales? It doesn't really say, it just says selected by Virginia. So yeah, I'm very, very curious about this one, and of course I love the vintage feel of it. I found a couple of these. There were more, but these were the only two I was really interested in. So I have this Little Women, Little Men dual bind up thing. I think it's really, really cool. I love these companion libraries, but I only wanted to get ones where the stories were something I'd be interested in. While I have read Little Women, I have not read Little Men, and I love the TV show. So that's definitely something that I wanted to grab, as well as this one because it has Alice in Wonderland. So this is another one of these bind-ups. This is Five Little Peppers. I don't really know anything about Five Little Peppers. Is it good? Is it not? I don't know. Maybe I'll read it at some point, but I did pick it up for the Alice in Wonderland. But again, this very cool companion library edition. I did find the second book of the Lightfall series at a thrift store for really, really cheap, and I was like, wow, okay. So I haven't actually read the second one. I've read the first one and I liked it. I don't own the first one, but I mean, I would grab it at a thrift store if I found it. So now I have the second one and I'm looking forward to reading it. I found Isaac Denison's Winter Tales. This one was like, I have never heard of this author, this book, or anything. And I don't actually recall why I picked this one up. I must have maybe read the synopsis or something, but I picked this one up. Let me know if you know anything about that. I found Sword in the Stars, The Dark Sea Annals by Wayne Thomas Batson. Wayne Thomas Batson, I believe, is a Christian author, and this is book one of a series, and that's basically all I needed to know, plus this really interesting cover. So then I found Jesus Culture, Living a Life That Transforms the World. I haven't really heard much about this one. When I was in the store, I just quickly went onto Goodreads, and a lot of people were saying that it's just a revolutionary way, that it really impacted their walk with God. So I wanted to give it a shot. Let me know if you know anything about the Jesus Culture book. I grabbed A Wild Winter Swan by Gregory McGuire. I am slowly collecting Gregory McGuire's books. I haven't started any of them yet, and I'm a little bit hesitant. I'm not sure where they're gonna go, but I am curious enough to try them, and if I can find them at a thrift store for a reasonable price, then I will grab it. So then I found this special edition of Sophies Heart by Lori Wick. I would love to find The Princess in a Thrift Store by Lori Wick, because that is one of my favorite books ever. Sophies Heart was also good. I don't really remember a lot of it, but it wasn't my favorite, but I think I did like it. So at some point I might reread it again, and now I have like this really pretty edition, and then if I also get The Princess at some point, then they'll be matching and it'll be pretty. I grabbed The Scarlet Truffle Oil by L.A. Kelly. Again, this is a Revel published book, and I mean, that's all I basically knew about it. Like, do you need to know any more? I don't. I've told you guys before, I'm very easy to pick up a book if I know it's by a Christian author, a Christian publishing company, because I just want to read all the things, and if I can know right out of the gate that it's meant to be from a Christian perspective, then I'm extra eager. So, The Once and Future King by T.H. White. Okay, so when I first listened to The Sword and the Stone, which is this, I think this Once and Future King is like essentially is it like a bind up of like 5 of his stories? Or was it like Tolkien's Lord of the Rings, where it was like meant to be one story, but modern publishing has split it up? I'm not exactly sure how this originated, but I have read The Sword and the Stone. I read it through audio and it was phenomenal. I love the audiobook for that one. So I needed this one in my collection and I wanted to get the whole thing. So now I have it. I grabbed this, Selected Poems of Elizabeth Brewster. I've never heard of her. This cover is beautiful. I just love it. And it is more of like the simple poetry. So I'm hoping that it's got rhythm and or rhyme to it. So yeah, I'm curious about this because I am curious about poetry books. It's just hard for me to find ones that like I really connect to. I found Finding Lady Enderly by Joanna Davidson Politano. This one, I just know oh, here's another one. I just know that Joanna Davidson Politano is a very popular Christian author. I don't think I have read anything from her, or did I read one? I can't recall. Wow, this is weird. This book is like twice the weight of this book. That's weird. They're both written, or they're both published by Revel, so you'd think they would have the same like binding company. Wow, this book is like so heavy. And they're like basically the same thickness. Different paper quality for sure. Anyway, that's a rabbit trail. I grabbed both of these just because I know a lot of my friends like Joanna Davidson Politano, so we'll see. I found another Linda Chaikin. If I can find Linda Chaikin in the thrift stores, I am grabbing them up because from what I've read so far, and I think I've only read one, which is not a good track record yet, but I really liked that one, so. I grabbed these two by Liz Curtis Higgs. I have one, or I used to have one from this series. I'm having a hard time figuring out if this is the same series or not. The cover edition is a bit different with like this border, but yet they're very similar. So I'm unclear if they're meant to be in a series or not. So, curious. But anyway, I grabbed these two. I've only read that one by Liz Curtis Higgs. I remember that I liked it, but I don't remember anything about it. So, a C.S. Lewis, A Mere Christianity. This is always good to grab. You can either grab it for a gift for somebody, or I have the CF book sale, cystic fibrosis book sale fundraiser that I have going on, so I could always put it in there. But I mean, Mere Christianity is a fantastic book. It's absolutely fantastic. Here's another one by L.A. Kelly. Is it the same series? Yes, it is the same series. Okay, so that's cool. But I haven't read them, so hopefully they're good. Then I found The Wrath and the Dawn by Renee Ahdieh. This one is not Christian. I have heard some good things about it, so I am curious, and it was very cheap, so it wasn't too big of a risk for me. So yeah, let me know in the comments below if you have read The Wrath and the Dawn, and if it's worth me giving a try, or if you already know some content that I wouldn't like, let me know. I found Buried Secrets by Irene Hannon. Basically just Christian suspense author. Haven't read this one. I might be in the mood for it at some point. Then also James L. Rubart, Memory's Door, a Wellspring novel, book 2. Okay, so I have another Wellspring novel. I don't know if it's book 1 or if it's a different one, but I do have one from this series already, so I'm curious about James L. Rubart, and this book I've already started collecting the series, so there you go. This one, The Darkness and the Dawn by Charles Swindoll. I'm really wanting to read Charles Swindoll. I have a few of his books. I can't recall if I have read any Charles Swindoll yet or not, but I do know that I want to. Even if I have read some of his already, I want to read more, and if I haven't, then I want to try him. So, favorite poems to read aloud. Again, children's poetry. I'm here for that. Complete Nonsense by Edward Lear. You guys know I love nonsense in children's literature. I love it. I think it's so valuable in children's literature. So, yes, I grabbed this one basically because it had the word nonsense in it. And then I found the nonsense book. So, I mean, absolutely. This isn't a, oh wait, is this the same book? Because this is also Edward Lear's nonsense book, but this is Complete Nonsense by Edward Lear. Oh, I'm so confused. Did I just get the same book? That's funny. Okay, now I'm very, very curious if these are the same book. Well, either way, he got me twice on nonsense, so good job, Edward Lear. Okay, here's some more childhood reminiscent books. So I found a Barbie book, and then I found another Barbie book. I found these two endless summer books, which I don't remember from my childhood, but they are from like the 80s. Yeah, 88. And they just have those vibes, right? These are so 80s. So I just needed to grab them and see how it went. I grabbed a Lizzie McGuire book, Mirror Mirror. I loved Lizzie McGuire. I grabbed a Mary Kate and Ashley book, Two of a Kind. I love and still love Mary Kate and Ashley. I grabbed a Clueless book because I totally remember Clueless as a kid. And then I grabbed a Sabrina the Teenage Witch book as well because I did watch Sabrina. Even though I don't know if I was necessarily allowed to, somehow I managed to watch some episodes. So, yeah. We'll see. And then I've been slowly collecting a bunch of Caroline B. Cooney's books. I have read The Face on the Milk Carton as a kid, and that was the only one, and now I have collected like probably 5 of her books. But here we have Emergency Room, so we'll see. Okay, a bunch of mass market paperbacks. So Down the Rabbit Hole by Peter Abrahams. This one was actually in my CF book sale stash. So I want to read this one. An Echo Falls Mystery. I don't know anything about this author. I suspect it is, it's not from a Christian publishing house. So, I mean, chances are I will probably DNF this one, but I mean, you just never know. And there's like Sherlock Holmes vibes in it, Alice in Wonderland. I mean, I think it should be good. Hopefully the content doesn't let me down. I grabbed this really old vintage copy of Screwtape Letters. I love this book. It's one of my favorite books by C.S. Lewis, and this is a really vintage edition. I really don't like the modern cover of Screwtape Letters. I just don't like that one at all. So I think this one suits the book a lot more. I've been collecting old vintage editions of Pride and Prejudice, even though I DNF'd the book. But I just think finding these really old editions is so fascinating. And this one even has like a bookmark, a Psalm 46 bookmark. That's cool. Yeah, anyway, let me tell you what year this one is from. 1956. So this will add to my vintage Pride and Prejudice collection. I grabbed East of Eden by John Steinbeck. Now, I actually read Of Mice and Men in school, and I reread it again as an adult to see what I thought, and I absolutely did not like Of Mice and Men. So I don't have high hopes for this one, but because I know a lot of my friends have been reading this one lately, I just thought, oh, I'll see. And it was only $1, so, I mean, I was like, we'll see. We'll see. I found A High Wind in Jamaica, or The Innocent Voyage, by Richard Hughes. I've never heard anything about this one. I read a little bit of the synopsis and I was interested, so. I also found Medieval Myths by Norma Lore Goodrich. A brilliant recreation of the great myths of the medieval world from Beowulf to the Cid. So, I don't have any books, I don't know if I do, of medieval myths, so this will be really interesting to have. And then The Great Good Thing, a novel by Roderick Townley. I think I read the back of this and I was interested. I don't currently remember what it was about, but let me know if you have read this one. Okay, that's it for thrifted books. I will say I got 2 books from the dollar store, so these were $1.25. This is the Burning Kingdom book 3 of the Smoke Thieves series. I have book 1, I think, of this series from the dollar store, and I haven't read it yet. So now I have books 1 and 3. We'll see. That's kind of my catchphrase of book hauls. We'll see. And then The Fountains of Silence by Rita Sepetys. This one was also $1.25, and I just know so many of my book friends love this book. And so I like historical fiction, so why not give it a try? Do you think I will like it? Let me know in the comments. We had just stopped by the bookstore on my birthday, and I saw this book for $3 at Indigo, which is wild because that's like they sell books at high prices. And I thought $3 for I Can Draw graphic novels, and it's a loose goal of mine to make a graphic novel. It's not really a serious one at this point, but at some point I might want to create a graphic novel, and this might be very helpful for that. So it's just a little bit of, you know, guidelines and stuff. So I think that was cool. And then Baker Book Publishing has been so generous this month. I've received 5 books from them. So I got Remember Me by Tracy Peterson. These are all new releases. So Under Fire by Lynn H. Blackburn. Blind Trust by Natalie Walters. In This Moment by Gabrielle Meyer. Now I have not read book 1, so let me know in the comments below if you think I will like this duology. I don't know if there's more coming, but let me know what you think. And then The Vanishing at Castle Moreau by Jamie Jo Wright. I have read 2 Jamie Jo Wright. I didn't care for one, and I really like the other one, so we'll see how this one goes. Then Crossway, oh, beautiful Crossway. They sent me, because, was it last year? I think it was last year. They sent me the first book in the Dreamkeepers saga. So now they had sent me book 2 and 3, and I'm so excited. I have read book 2, and I am thrilled to have book 3. And these covers are so stunning, like beautiful artwork. Like the artwork is just absolutely beautiful. I love it. So thank you to Crossway and Baker Book Publishing. That was really, really kind of you guys. And lastly, I'm a bit hesitant. I don't really know how to share these kinds of books, especially on like a social media platform, because these are books from my friends and a lot of my friends from Booktube and Bookstagram, and I just don't want to perpetuate the feeling of like somebody else being left out. So how do I think I want to do this? Okay, you guys who gave me books, you know who you are, and you know that I'm so grateful and thankful to you for your friendship and for this book. But I don't think I'm going to say who I got these books from, just to kind of minimize any kinds of feelings of other people feeling left out. So we're going to say I got this beautiful sea-themed sticker book that I've already been using. I love it. It's just going to show you all the end pages. There we go. So many beautiful illustrations as stickers. I absolutely think this is such a beautiful book, and I love it. So thank you. And then I got this cutout collage, oh boy, cutout and collage book. So it just has images that I can cut out for collage purposes. This is going to be so good because sometimes when you're looking for something specific, but all you have is magazines at your disposal, it'd be really nice to like have a specific, you're like, oh yeah, I know I have a green bird that is facing this direction, or I think this frame with these hands would work really good, you know what I mean? So like I wouldn't have to go into a magazine to find blue hands and a pink frame because it's already here, you know? So I'm really, really excited to dive into this one, and I'm thrilled, so thank you. This one, oh, absolutely flabbergasted. I got Assassin's Apprentice, the illustrated edition of this. I don't know if this is a collector edition or if it's just a special edition. I don't really know terminology like that, but this is absolutely beautiful. It's been a series that I want to collect in this edition for a while, but these books are not cheap. So I really appreciate this, and I will love it always. So thank you. Then I got Heart of Red, Blood of Blue. Oh, I'm so excited for this one. I first heard of this one on Oshina's channel, and she was saying really good things about it, and so I put it on my Amazon wish list, and then one of my friends got it for me. So I am very, very, very excited to try this book. Yeah, very excited. So thank you. And then lastly, I got A Heart So Fierce and Broken by Bridget Kemmerer. So this is book 2 of the Curse Breakers trilogy, right? Curse Breakers? I'm pretty sure it's called The Curse Breakers. It doesn't say anywhere on here, which is kind of weird. But anyway, I have book 1, A Curse of Dark and Lonely, and I actually buddy read this trilogy with Oshina back in the day, which was really, really fun. And I really like this series. So now I have books 1 and 2, and I can put them on my shelf and they will look pretty, and I'm thankful. So thank you very much. Thank you to everybody who gifted me books, whether it be friend or publishing companies or whatever. I'm very, very excited for this new stash of books. Yeah, I'm speechless and I'm so grateful, and I can't wait to get into all of them and put some of them on my shelf, well, all of them on my shelves. And yeah, I'm just thankful and happy. So I hope you guys have a lovely day. Let me know if you know of anything from any of these books, either warnings or excitement about any of them. And yeah, we'll chat in the next video. Thanks so much for watching. Have a lovely day. Bye!